Good to be with you,
Great
Sean.
day to be an American.
It is. All right. Before I get to the money issue, which, Joe, we're going to agree, this is outrageous, right? There, America funding, helping the whole family out. We're funding.
I think every American is against welfare for terrorists. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now let me go back to where we were with Mayor Giuliani. I want to play Barack Obama. He's asked an interesting question. Notice how he won't answer it, though. And he was asked this question in Mumbai about, what do you think of jihad? Listen to how he cannot say what is so obvious, that radical Islamic jihadists hate us and are at war with us. Watch this.
What is your take or opinion about jihad?
The phrase jihad has a lot of meanings within Islam. And is subject to a lot of different interpretations. But I will say that, first, Islam is one of the world's great religions. And more than 1 billion people who practice Islam, the overwhelming majority, view their obligations to their religion as ones that reaffirm peace and justice and fairness and tolerance. I think all of us recognize that this great religion, in the hands of a few extremists, has been distorted to justify violence towards innocent people that is never justified.
Billy Cunningham, why is this president so pathetically weak that he can't acknowledge a simple truth? Help me out, Bill Cunningham.
Sean Hannity, maybe his middle name is a clue, and also the fact that he spent most of his childhood practicing the Muslim faith. And so I think, of course, he's a Christian now, but we have to understand where he came from. He said the sweetest sounds he's ever heard is prayers at sunset. So without orientation, I think it's hard for this president to say anything other than Muslim Jihadist Terrorist, because it runs contrary to the things he was taught when he was a boy in Honolulu and Jakarta, Indonesia. And he's become a Christian later, which I accept completely. But there is something fundamental about his incapability to call what happened in Fort Hood was a wake-up call. And I think Rudy said it best. Rudy Giuliani sent the message to NYPD after 9/11 what was expected. And I think Obama is sending a similar but a different message after Fort Hood, after Benghazi in Boston. A different message is sent to the bureaucracy to be careful how you label terrorists, because it might be unfortunate. He's talking about hugs instead of thugs, and it's got to change. Benghazi to Boston, what's going to happen next? I think Rudy said it best. He's got a pre-9/11 mentality, and it's getting us killed.
That. He said it was worse than that. Joe Trippi, was what happened at Fort Hood when was that terrorism?
I think there's something really wrong when Bill has to go after the president's middle name as some kind of an attack. Wait.
Bill Cunningham was quoting the New York Times, Nicholas Kristof, who quoted Obama saying there's nothing more beautiful in the world than prayer at sunset when he went to a Muslim school.
New York Times.
New York Times.
Look, the fact of the matter is,
Joe, the truth will set you free.
Yeah, Bill, I know. Sean, look, you said something really interesting when you were talking to Mayor Giuliani. You said that if you were a peaceful, abiding, moderate Muslim, you'd be angry at the extremists. I think President Obama tries to speak to the moderate, peaceful Muslims and make it tougher.
That's a nice excuse. When is he going to? Wait a minute. Joe. Wait a minute.
Are you just going to yell at me, or are you going to let me finish the sentence?
The official Obama
Sean, are you going to yell at me?
Wait a minute. The official Obama line on Fort Hood is that this was an incident of workplace violence. Joe Trippi, that is a lie. He's lying to the American people. He wouldn't even use the term war on terror for the longest time. What the hell is wrong with this president that he cannot acknowledge that there are radical Islamic jihadists that think if they strap bombs on their own kids and blow up innocent people, that 72 virgins await them in heaven? Tell me, Joe, is that true or not true?
What's true? I think, first of all, I don't sit here using words like lie. I tried not to use those about George
Bush. It's a lie.
When he was president.
Was not workplace
you
violence,
enjoy
Joe.
saying that. I know you enjoy saying it was a lie, Sean.
It was a lie.
I got that.
I don't
Okay.
like being, you know, I have kids, and my kids can do things wrong like every other kid's going to do things wrong, but you know what gets them in more trouble, Joe Trippi and the Hannity household?
Who?
When they lie about it.
Yes.
Right. Bill Cunningham, did our president lie to the American people?
He massaged the truth to such a point I couldn't understand it. And Joe did bring up a point for once. 99% of American Muslims think about this country the way we three think about it. The other 1% are a big problem.
Well, the 1%, but the problem is around the world, in the Middle East and North Africa and Iran and Saudi Arabia and Egypt, we're watching the rise of radical Islamists, and not only are we not calling it out for what it is, we're giving them F-16s, Joe Trippi, and paying for it.
Sean, they have to recruit from the peaceful, moderate Muslims and bring them over, which, by the way, somehow happened to these two, potentially could have happened to these two as well. That's what we're trying to stop.